Who else is on trial besides Diddy? And this is a RICO case.
And it's a RICO. That was one of Dave Chappelle jokes. Tell me,
yeah,
this nigga's in a RICO case by himself.
By himself.
That let you know.
All right. Well, welcome back to the Black Summit. I'm Brooks.
And I'm Hendricks.
And today we got Q.
What's up, y'all?
Q.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah. I don't really like to think of him as a special guest. You know?
Nah, he ain't special.
I'm the homie. I'm the homie at this point.
He's a friend to the room. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? His opinion is always valid. So, you know,
I appreciate
you got to keep the brother back.
I appreciate that, Hendricks. I appreciate that.
Quaillo.
Yeah, man. You know, what y'all got going on?
Man, the question is what you got going on.
Well,
I see you rocking new merch.
Yes, Opulent Era, man. Shout out to Opulent Era. This is my partner from high school, man, Tremaine. He's a part of this brand. It's a few of them, but him, Cam, and a few other guys. Shout out to them. Very nice fabrics. They coming out with a lot of dope stuff. So, tap in with Opulent Era on Instagram, Facebook. Tell them that Q sent you. You know what I'm saying? They'll make sure that you laced up. I got a lot of gear. You'll see me in it a lot. And shout out to my Let's Get Rich crew. I'm still rocking with them too. But, you know, I just try to support us, man. You know what I'm saying? When my guys got something going on, I just try to support, man. Like, it keep me at the mall, you know? I just go to the mall for sneakers and jeans, you know? So, yeah. So, and I got a single out, too. I got a single out called Still with my partner, L Young. It's doing pretty good right now. Nice motivational song when y'all boys in the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely one of them type ones that, you know, start your day.
Okay.
You know, so check that out.
Where can they find the single at?
They can check out Still, man, on all platforms. You know, I hit everything when I drop. I'm on everything. Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube Music, you know, whatever.
Tidal,
yeah, what is it? Tidal still around like that?
Yeah, they is. I don't know if a lot of people still got it. I know at one point in time everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Black Power."
When Jay had it, right? Jay sold it, right?
I don't know.
I thought I heard something about Jay sold it. Did he?
But
you know Brooks? Did he sell it?
I don't know. I don't keep up with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I'm a Kanye man. Come on now.
No.
We would.
No.
That's not on the agenda.
I think Kanye sold his last ship.
He like the throat goat.
Hey, he's tripping, man.
Well, you know, I mean, at least he's not as bad as Diddy, you know? I mean, I feel like Diddy is...
I feel like he's up there, boy. I feel like
Nah.
Shit,
all the stuff I've been hearing.
I'm telling you, boy.
Speaking of that, that's going to be one of our topics. We're going to be talking about the Diddy case. And we'll also be talking about the NBA playoffs. And then we got to talk about this Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese thing. RG3, Ryan Clark.
Yeah, we got
some interesting things happening. There's so many things that are, we could talk about. Yeah. Like if we have time, I definitely want to get into the Tory Lanez thing because that's becoming something. So, but
free Tory.
Yeah, that's interesting. But first, we're going to talk about the Diddy case. And I want to play a video that just kind of updates us on what's happening.
The third witness of the day today in the Diddy trial was the Punisher, a male dancer and a repeat participant of the FOs. He says the first time that he met Cassie and Diddy was in a hotel suite at the Trump Tower overlooking Central Park. He says Cassie opens the door and she's wearing a bathrobe with nothing on underneath. He looks around and the furniture is covered in white sheets. And scattered around the room are bowls filled with water and bottles of baby oil. In her testimony, Cassie said that they used to put sheets on top of furniture to protect it and that they would put bottles of baby oil in a bowl of water to warm it up. Hayes wrote about that encounter in a book that he recently published about erectile dysfunction. He said the hotel looked like a scene out of American Psycho and he freaked out. Hayes testified that when he entered the room, Cassie specifically told him not to acknowledge the man in the room, a man that he later identified as Diddy wearing a veil. But he says he noticed Diddy and it made him very uncomfortable and difficult to perform. Now, the defense asked him the title of his book, and he responded, In Search of Freezer Meat. Then Diddy's attorney, Xavier Donaldson, went down the same line of questioning that he did with Daniel Phillip, the other dancer who testified. Donaldson asking both men if they caught feelings for Cassie, because both men did testify that she was the most beautiful woman that they've ever seen. But Hayes said no, and Diddy's attorney congratulated him on the book. Diddy's attorney ended cross-examination by asking Hayes what he meant when he described an encounter as steamy, to which Hayes responded, "I felt it was enjoyable for Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs."
All right. A lot of people have been going back and forth on this Diddy case. A lot of people are saying that Cassie might have been involved in this and maybe even as a number two. What are your thoughts so far on the case? And do you think Diddy's going to get out of this?
Question. A RICO.
Mm-hmm.
It usually involves more than one person, right?
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure. That's the biggest thing. I'm like, the focus is on Diddy, but I just wonder who else. Like, everybody seems to be witnesses and all of that, but it's like, who are the people that's going to be going down with him? Not saying that I just want people to go to jail, but that's just usually how RICO works.
Mm-hmm.
So who are going to be the accomplices? And I feel like right now, like Cassie, she's looking like a victim, but at the same time, she's looking like an accomplice too, because like it's no doubt that they had domestic issues, but at some point in time, it seemed like she enjoyed it and she liked it. And the shit is just crazy because it's like, man, like all these dudes and stuff that they showing, like all these participants, I'm like, man, you got a lot of bodies, young lady. Like a lot of bodies. Like they had like, I don't know if you've seen like the picture, like of all the,
I've seen it.
Man, it's a lot of dudes that been involved with Cassie, man. So, it's a crazy case. I'm kind of torn because it's like, man, I haven't really heard anything criminal too much yet. I just hear a bunch of freaky stuff, like just a bunch of freaky stuff. I haven't really heard too much stuff that's criminal. And I guess that they're trying to use all the freaky stuff to kind of paint a picture of him as like this controlling monster and violent guy, angry guy. But I mean, shoot, that's most wealthy men that, from what I hear. I haven't attained that kind of wealth, and I pray I don't attain that much money where I just wild out like that. But I don't think I got that in me. I know I don't have that in me. But yeah, man, it's real interesting. I just really just trying to see where they gonna go and see how much stronger this case is gonna get. Cause right now it's just more like the character versus like the crimes. So,
what are your thoughts?
Well, to allude what my boy Q said, and I made that point, about her on the on our TikTok,
I saw that
saying
earlier.
that, and I didn't know it like everybody else. I found out like, man, she was number two, and she kind of orchestrated some of these freak offs.
Mm-hmm.
But and her defense was that she was in love with him, and she doing whatever to keep him because she don't want him to do it with somebody else.
Right.
That was her testimony for that. But then that dude, the Punisher, he was on the stand and he said that does it look like she was being coerced or forced? And he said no. He said, matter of fact, it looked like she was enjoying it. Some of these things as well. So,
Right.
what I mean. So that's why I said like, yo, I mean, in RICO. Who else? Who's the other accomplice? It's like all the guns pointed at Diddy. Now that's no means to say that he's a saint and he shouldn't be held accountable. But even with the Cassie thing, with him, physically assaulting her, she got paid $20 million for that,
and another 10 from the hotel.
Oh, really?
Right before the case started,
Oh,
so
okay,
she up
okay.
$30 million right now in settlements.
Okay, so I know she got 20 from him, so he can't be tried for that. That already was in civil case. So this is criminal court we in now. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I wonder if, like I said, it won't surprise me if he do get off. I'm not saying that it's still early. I'm saying he is going to get off, but it won't surprise me because, like you said, all you really hearing about is a bunch of freaky stuff. Only only illegal thing I can see really probably is the drug paraphernalia.
Right.
You know, and that in that regard, but
Yeah.
because everybody will come out and say, yeah, he forced me and he did this and did that. And that's pretty much everybody gonna say. And I'm not saying he didn't, but if I was around Puff around that time making music, and he do all kind of, if I don't do blah, I'm out. I don't care how much money you got. In your career, playboy. I'm like, do it. So what? At the end of the day, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna die on my feet than live on my knees. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
You ain't going on your knees?
No, I ain't getting on my knees.
But the thing is, even with the drug use, right? I mean, what with the drug paraphernalia, like, well, I don't know how much people would have been involved with the law, but being a user and being like a trafficker is two totally different things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like they was using the drugs. Diddy wasn't getting drugs to sell them. He don't need to sell drugs. He was getting them shits to take.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
I think when it comes to this case, I think you guys are missing the racketeering part, which is going out there and saying like, if you guys don't do this, these are the consequences. And there was a lot of that going on.
Well,
we heard in the video talking about Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi's car allegedly got blown up by this organization. And it's an organization that, we don't hear about all the other people, but he's got bodyguards.
Assistants.
He's got drivers. He's got assistants. We've actually been hearing about it. One of his assistants. And then he had Cassie. And so I think there's a lot more there that a lot of people haven't really talked about yet. And so I think it's an 8-week process. So I think more and more is going to come out. Okay. Now, when it comes to Cassie, I know a lot of people are coming out and saying that, she was culpable, like she was a part of this and she was doing blah, blah, blah. Remember, their relationship started when she was like 19.
True.
Okay.
Yep.
And so really, if you want to talk about this, you have to say, at what point did it switch from her, being the person who probably didn't like what they were doing at the beginning to her participating? And by some of the text messages that we've been hearing about, she's also like putting these parties together in a way, these freak offs, whatever you want to call them. And we have to realize that you can be groomed into that.
Yeah, I was about to say
coerced into becoming, what we saw in the text messages.
Yeah, she's not.
And so I give Cassie a pass in all of this. I know everybody wants to point at everybody else, and this is what the defense team of Diddy is doing right now. They're trying to point at everybody else but Diddy, and it's like, no. That's the guy. He's the guy. He's the one that started this stuff. Do I think he's the only one in Hollywood that's doing this? No. Stop it. He's the one that they're going after right now.
Right.
Okay. But let's be honest here. Cassie is a victim, and she was groomed into being the person that she is. And Diddy was the one who made that happen. Now, you can talk about some of the stuff afterwards. You can say all these different things. But she did try to leave multiple times, and she got her ass beat.
I don't mean to laugh.
I'm not trying to be mean, but right. It's like, so, and that's where you can say some of this stuff is trafficking. How many people did he beat up when they tried to leave? How many? And we may not even know. Allegedly, right? Yeah. But we don't know what all goes into this. Okay, We're just hearing about this is the stuff that they're putting forth. But there's probably so many different things that they haven't really talked about. I've saw some of the pictures of Cassie. She has deep gashes on her head and like other places. It's like, and those are the pictures that she's taken. Like, what about other times that she didn't take the pictures?
That's domestic.
And so
that's domestic.
That's domestic.
But at the end of but there's been multiple people who've come out and talked about how, they felt like they couldn't leave. And like then there was the young people. I know you said that the case with Little Rod, that got thrown out, right?
Yeah, it did.
But,
he got compensated.
Okay.
And he chose to do what he was doing. So.
Okay. Well, but I think Diddy's going down. I just think that I think y'all are too close to it.
I just feel
y'all were
like
fans of him back in the day.
No, I just feel like Hendricks, man. I feel like you could control kids, you can't control adults.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like they can say that everything that they done was for personal gain. Even Cassie, that's why I can't exclude her because it's like, okay, like you were young and all of this and that, but at the same time, you have a mother, you have a father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, was it worth it? I guess it was because now you got $30 million. All
right, let me talk about this.
So,
what about if somebody had a video of you, okay, and it was a compromising video, and you're somebody who's in a certain industry, and they keep threatening, if you leave,
they will post it.
I will post that video.
You know what? You know what I tell them? Like Benny the Butcher, post it.
No,
post it.
Stop.
What do they call it? That is a crime, though.
If it's a video that was
humiliating
to you, you would tell them just to post it.
Look,
you wouldn't say that. Stop.
Look, check this out.
Don't lie.
If it was the most humiliating video of you, post it. Think about it.
The most
if you got a video humiliating me,
okay,
it's gonna be even further humiliating for me to stay with your ass. I'll be like, man, if you feel that way, post it.
Because it's in private.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
I don't think you're thinking about it correctly.
No, I won't let no man fuck with my manhood.
I thought you were about to say something else.
No man is messing with my manhood.
And at the same time, she could have took legal action just how she took legal action when she decided to sue him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
But
it sounds good, but it's like.
But we're talking about one of the most powerful people who has some of the most powerful people on the inside of your industry that you work in. You're talking about somebody with like almost absolute power.
But they're taking them down now.
Exactly.
Yeah, because behind the scenes something else happened. But allegedly. But yeah, go ahead.
But see, I don't look at like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I look at it more for as your influence, your influence, right?
Right.
I don't never want to give another man or woman, for that matter, power. I would never want to give nobody. Yeah, you got wealth and you have influence. You know, that's everybody. You know, we're not gonna talk about it, but even with Bill Cosby, hell, even our president now.
Right.
You know, you got influence. Yeah, you got people behind you. But at the end of the day, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. You know what I'm saying? Me and Diddy would have had to scrap. Either he'd have beat my ass or I'd have beat his ass. But at the end of the day, you going to respect me and say, yo, all right, I can't punk this dude here.
Or you're one of those people who just get taken out. And
but he hasn't done that.
Seen that happen.
He didn't threaten her life, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
then another thing, too, with her mother.
Did you see that video?
Her mother, right?
Okay.
Because her mother was on the stand, but then the defense said no further questions. But they asked her too one time when she was with her mother. They was like, "Yo, why don't you just leave, right?" And she said, "Well, you know, because he paid for my car, he's paying for my apartment."
Yeah.
So I know that they use their money as a control thing, and I get that, right? Yeah. And like you said, Cassie was 19.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a pimp.
Yeah, exactly, kind of like a pimp, right? But then I agree with you. I think he did groom her. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I don't think Cassie shouldn't do no jail time. Now, he could probably do jail time for domestic abuse against her and stuff like that. But far as the freakiness stuff, you know, I mean, I think he did groom her. She wouldn't have been in that lifestyle of
if she never met Diddy.
Because she was with Ryan Leslie first. Then he pulled her from him, and then found out she hanging back with him, and then he sat down and said,
Ryan Leslie
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah,
nah,
you know,
I don't think, bad girl.
I don't think she deserved no jail time, anything like that. I'm glad she got compensated, which I think she probably deserved more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she deserved what she got
more than that. You know,
but I think at the end of the day, we're pointing blame at her. Like, people want to talk about her bodies. People are out there talking about, oh, she slept with all these different people. Oh my God. You know, it's like, what are we talking about, guys? This case is about Diddy, okay? And it's about the things that he did. And for a long time, people didn't want to admit that he, you know, I mean, let's call it what it is. He's on the DL, okay? Obviously.
We got to go into
he was literally living through her, okay?
Yeah, he was.
He was having men finish on her, and then they would go into, like some of this stuff is disgusting.
They said that's like a ritual thing.
So
speak on it,
They said it's like some real ritual stuff.
Can you
right
imagine
there.
the dude Punisher and say he couldn't even keep erection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dudes would come in there. They were saying that, like he said, finish on her, and he would rub it on them, right? And then they saying that dude Punisher was a freezer meat in that book.
Right.
Some excerpt from his book was saying that he finished on her, and then he was allegedly licking it off. I was like, oh my god! I threw up in my mouth when I heard. I said, "Dude, can you imagine?"
It's an evil world we live in,
bruh. I barely want my own nut on me.
I'm trying to tell you.
I don't want another man nut on. I was like, "Oh my god! Oh, can you imagine?"
I couldn't imagine.
This is the stuff that Diddy was doing, though.
Oh
and
my
so
god!
Everybody wants to talk about.
He need to be in jail for that alone.
Really, it's mind control that he was pulling on everybody around him. It sounds like.
I believe that.
And and then taking these. And you guys want to talk about the criminal stuff. He's literally getting video of all these celebrities that he invites. You would hear about all these people that he's bringing in to these parties and stuff like that, and then taking video, secretly recording them, and then now he's got blackmail. That he can just go, okay, this man held absolute power.
He's probably been jacking off.
When you hold absolute power like he did, and I mean in that industry.
Nah, Diddy a real life villain, man.
And then you heard what Jamie Foxx had to say. He said, "Listen, I was the one that called him to have with Diddy." He talked about this in his Netflix special. Jamie Foxx talked about it in his Netflix special. He talked about how he was the one that called the feds on Diddy. Okay, and it was because
because I saw the special.
I'm telling y'all, this is what's happening because after he was messing around with Diddy, and not messing around, but like I don't know what what was happening, but they were at a party together, and I think that somehow he had gotten drugged. Okay, and at that party with Diddy, and it almost ended his life. And so he's the one that had to call the feds because of all of that happening. And so, listen, guys, I think it goes deep. And I think that,
it goes deeper way than we can imagine.
And you know something, man? I'll be on every time I hear all
Pause,
these.
by the way. That was crazy. That was deeper than we can imagine. That was crazy as hell. Pause. Goodness gracious.
He had to pause himself.
Yeah, this is what happens when you talk about Diddy.
You know what I find kind of sad, though, man? Well, I don't know if they still there, but think about it. You go into trial, all this fellatio, all this freaky stuff. And your kids, I don't know if they still there. They gotta sit there.
That's the worst.
Your family and hear all that stuff, man. That's what I be thinking about. Like, man, your kids got to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
his daughters like walked out the room. I think when they were talking about some of the stuff.
And and it's just like, yo, I know they probably know that. Of course, kids probably don't know how freaky their parents are. The boys may have an idea, like, yeah, dad be with some girl. They probably thinking that it's regular sex, not that you bringing in escorts and male escorts
you in the
and
corner and stuff.
You in the corner,
mask on,
with butt naked, walking around jacking off, and you directing the whole freak off.
Diddy got devil eyes too, so like
I'm like,
just them eyes blaring at you, like shoot. Them boys probably was like, man,
Diddy.
It's something serious when an escort can't get erect. Like, boys had to take ED pills and X pills, and
Diddy turn himself into a cock because he want to see her.
Yeah,
I never.
He was living through her.
Yeah, I would never want to see. Yeah, you probably right. You're right. I never want to see my lady with another dude, man.
Yeah,
you want to get rid of me? Smash another dude. All right, bet we done. We done. I never want to see that, man.
That's why he was probably always angry.
Oh yeah,
it's just like, you got her doing this shit, but at the same time it's fucking with you.
Yeah, he like, damn it,
like, oh, this shit is clashing. It's like,
hey, what it's like, oh, but I can't stop watching it. It's like, that's sick, man.
Yeah, man. You won't hear me saying free Diddy. That's for damn sure. But
okay.
I mean, but I leaving this one in the law hand. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, we just gotta see how it plays out.
We just gotta see how this one play out. I I ain't on the defense for Diddy, but I just
Do you think he's gonna get off?
um.
With all the evidence out there, I mean, there's
I
still.
mean, it's still early. It's still early in the
It's
game.
still
I think it's still early to call. But me, like I said, I just want to see who else. Like who else? Like I guess maybe the assistants and stuff. Maybe they'll be a part of it. But like with YSL, it was Rico, bunch of people.
Everybody in
saying?
it, right?
Like
They put
Lil
everybody
Durk,
in it. Yeah,
his situation, Rico, everybody, the Crips. The 60s from LA with Big U and all them, Rico, everybody in it. Yeah. Who else is on trial besides Diddy? And this is a Rico case.
And it's a Rico, and it's a thing. That was one of Dave Chappelle jokes. Tell me, that nigga's in a Rico case by himself.
By himself. That let you know, boy.
Because they trying to say that it's an enterprise. Of course it's not. They try to say it's an enterprise. That's why they trying to hit him for every asset, all his assets.
But you have to realize too that Rico doesn't have to be all encompassing. Like they may have the umbrella of the Rico, but it doesn't mean that all those things have to fall under it. If that makes sense, So, but I think it's enough there to call it a RICO.
Yeah, the RICO was started for the mafia.
For the mafia.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you had to get the mafia, the RICO.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they calling Diddy a one-man mafia.
Nah,
or that everybody else is pretty much peasants. Like, I guess y'all will get a little bit of what he get, but...
But you two did brought up good points, though, far as you saying that, it's just a lot of freaky stuff. Whereas, because that's really not illegal, then far as the drug use, but that is different from distributing and using, and I don't think the sentence is not as long as you distributing. It's totally two different things. Then you had the point about the racketeering. So I said, because he known to be a bully, you know what I'm saying? So you brought up that point too. So I guess maybe the drug and if they can't really get nothing on the sexual, what a person doing their own private time sexually. Yeah.
The prostitution thing is probably going to stick because it's like you can't really turn escorts into prostitutes. Not necessarily. You're supposed to be there for like just your pleasure or whatever like that, but not necessarily.
But it's crazy though. But that's what some escorts do.
That's what they do. I wouldn't pay for someone just to date me and just go out with me and be seen like. Nah,
that's pretty much what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But do something, but
it's still early, man, to see how this thing gonna play out.
Yeah, but it's been a hell of a couple weeks, I tell you that.
Because Kid Cudi coming up, I think next week. I think they're gonna.
I think he's this week. I think
they said they could, or maybe later on this week.
They pushed him off.
They pushed him back.
I think he was supposed to be there yesterday, but I think he's gonna be there tomorrow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So he's coming. Gotcha. And he'll be there for for next week too. Then some people was talking about Usher and some other people maybe or something.
Get crazy.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think once we hear about all the stuff that's been going on, I mean, Diddy has obviously allegedly has groomed multiple people, and so
Cassie not the only one.
I think what's happening is that when a person has done this much stuff to so many people, it's like, well, who are we going to pull out? Because there's so many people you could go to.
Right.
I mean, the names that people have talked about, like allegedly Justin Bieber and Usher and Jamie Foxx and all these other people that are involved with this. And you want to talk about Cassie, and you want to talk about a lot of people aren't talking about Ashton Kutcher allegedly.
Ashton Kutcher, really?
Yeah, man. There's so many people. The list is so long.
I didn't know he used to hang with Cuba Gooding Jr. I'm surprised they didn't pull him out.
See, that's what I'm saying.
He used to hang with Cuba Gooding Jr. too.
Who do you go to when there's so many people? Again, a guy with absolute power.
So what you saying, like the accomplices are like victims at the same time? Like it's
some of them are
one of those situations.
Some of them are
where they're both.
I think some of them.
Now, if you saying something like a Usher or a Justin Bieber for as a grooming, allegedly, then okay.
Yeah,
right?
because they were
but
like
you can't
young
say that's why I say okay. But you can't say a Cuba Gooding Jr. who's a grown
no. I'm not saying
man,
that. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that I'm pulling out these names as to people who were at the parties and people who were involved.
And facilitators.
Because I think it was certain people.
Let's think about this. Allegedly, they're saying that there were kids there. Okay, now there's kid.
I doubt.
It's allegedly. This is allegedly.
I highly doubt.
But that was allegedly what they were saying. But there were adults around You know, I mean, even if like somebody's like 17, okay, which some of that stuff was in the Little Rod's thing. He talked about people being like 17, okay. There were adults there.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are some of the names that people have been pulling out, like Ashton Kutcher.
No,
go ahead.
What I think is, you know, like they say he have, like I remember Marlon Wayans made he's like, man, I know what time to leave. I leave. I've been to a few of his parties, and people say I leave at 3:00. So I guess I know, you know, Marlon is a comedian, but you know, sometimes comedians tell the truth too in their jokes.
Okay. Yeah.
He said, I know when to leave.
Okay.
I don't
it was
believe
3:00. I left.
I
Okay.
think a lot of them stayed.
So you guys said there was no kids there, right?
No, I
said I don't
never
really
heard
believe it
anything
was
like
But
the
that.
just think about this.
I never heard
Usher was
anything.
12 when he started hanging out around him.
But Usher, that was back
but that
in
was
the 90s.
diff-
There
That
was,
was-
yeah, but he was young.
He was.
And when you hear
That wasn't
Usher
party,
talk
that was
about it, he was
music.
like, yeah, I mean, I was kind of young. I shouldn't have been around that stuff.
Yeah.
He
I mean,
said
but the
that on
90s
Howard Stern.
The 90s
but-
was different, man.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, like,
I mean,
this
not
is all-
saying,
but-
not to excuse it,
But then
it
at the
was-
this
same
is all
time,
involved.
Usher was around him for music purposes, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when he was building up his career.
yeah, but
No,
that's
no,
for
no,
everybody.
No, I get what you're saying. But on that aspect, now this is all coming about this other stuff that maybe it could have been, you know, I'm not saying nothing happened with Usher, but for whatever the case may be, right? But then, you know, what I was saying earlier, what I think is like with the freak offs, I think it's certain celebrities that probably stayed for later on, and then they don't want to really be, you know, oh no, you know what I'm saying? I want to get up out of it, you know.
Because
They don't want themselves.
I'm pretty sure Bow Wow seen some shit that he wasn't supposed to.
He been
see,
around,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
All those kid
exactly.
guys, Crisscross,
Yeah,
like,
Ray J.
You know, yeah,
Ray J,
definitely Ray J. You could tell.
Ray J, oh man, hands
You know what
down.
I'm saying?
Ray J did all of them.
Yeah,
All of them.
man.
The guy from That's So Raven, I can't think of his name right now.
Oh,
He really
Orlando
messed up.
Orlando
Brown.
Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
When
You
he
know-
talks
you know-
about Diddy, that's just hilarious.
You know,
Well,
he,
Orlando, he be
you know he trolling. You know,
He be trolling a
I
lot
know.
of times,
I know.
man.
He actually married with wife and kids, man.
Yeah.
And then your boy keep him on the show. With
Adam 22.
no, the other dude who be doing Lord, the white guy, the white Jewish guy.
Oh, I think
Vlad.
Vlad
keep him on it.
Vlad
Vlad
yeah.
keeps him on it all the time. He said, "What
Yeah.
happened with He said,
Yeah.
"What'd you do? You and Raven? We did that."
Let him ride it.
I'm crying, boy.
Yeah.
And then she give me some of that. Yeah, but it is. It's like what?
Oh,
Man.
That dude, man. Yeah, but they say he be trolling hard. You notice nobody never came out and say nothing to him or pay him no attention. They be thinking he owns something, whatever. But they said, man, that dude head on right. He just be trolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens with the Diddy
Yeah, we
case.
got to
We'll
see,
see.
man.
We'll see.
We're going to move on to our second subject here. The NBA playoffs have started. Tonight there is a game, and so you know we
Started
haven't caught up
last
to
night.
that. But last night, yes, there was a game. OKC ended up defeating the Timberwolves 88-114 in the Western Conference Finals. But yeah. We have the Eastern Conference Finals that'll be tonight.
Yeah.
New York versus the Pacers. But yeah, just want to get you guys' thoughts on the NBA playoffs and what you guys thought overall.
Well, I'll go
Yeah, you go
I,
ahead.
I saw some of the game, but I was paying attention because I'll be honest with you, I haven't really watched much NBA basketball, right? And then, of course, I watch more Sports Center or certain shows like The Speak or The Talk or whatever. And I was looking a little bit at The Speak today, and they were saying the same thing I was saying too. Like, when I saw the game, the first quarter, Minnesota was up. Then OKC tied it by around 20, 23. Then OKC just kept. And I think Anthony Edwards, I don't know if he went up the game for a minute and he came back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Minnesota, one thing about OKC, them dudes young. Them boys run.
Yeah.
They run, and they got Caruso.
Yeah.
Caruso used to play for the Bulls. I don't know why they
He used
traded
to
him.
play for the Lakers.
Yeah.
That's where he made his name.
Yeah. He was. You're right. But then I remember him at the Bulls, right? And he was hooping, and them Bulls out there, man, they was running, and seemed like, man, they showed why OKC was the number one seed. And then what did Minnesota do when he started falling? They took an ass of threes and only hit about 15. That's what I hate about the
I hate
NBA.
about the league right now.
I'm
but-
like, bro, try something. If I could have been the coach, I would have said, all right, timeout. Look here. If one of y'all shoot one more damn three out there,
I'm telling
you know what I'm saying? I'm going to sit your ass down. Do something, man. Drive in the paint. You know what I'm saying? Take the foul. Get to the line. Do something, man. They kept shooting three. Kept shooting. It was missing them, man. And that's what I hate about the NBA so much, man. Big men shooting threes. Pretty much ain't no center no more, you know?
Yeah. Blame Curry, man.
Yeah.
Blame
but
Curry,
you know
bro.
what? True. But at the same time, I don't blame Curry because Curry is a two guard. He really played his position and he played it well.
That's true.
He didn't tell everybody, the damn center, the small forward, and the power forward to go out and shoot threes too like that, you know? I'm like, man, I mean, Kyrie Irving, one of my favorite players, he got handles. You don't see them boys, they trying to have handles, you know, and he don't even shoot that much threes, and he a low dude, you know? And Chris Paul, he go for the two before he pull up for a three, man. It's just so annoying, man, to see that, man, you know, but I don't know. It's still early to see what the series is going to be as far as the Western Conference. Minnesota definitely will have to adjust. So I think this game here, game 2, they're going to Minnesota. So we're going to see how they adjust. Edwards and what's the other dude?
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle. They were talking. They didn't sound like they were too worried. They say they're going to adjust, and I'm curious to see how they're going to do that. Hopefully they don't shoot too much threes.
You think they shoot a lot of threes because like the shoes is different now? Kind of like a lot of people wear a lot more low tops than like mid tops and high tops now. So
you think that's why?
I mean, it makes me wonder.
Well, I heard something about the commissioner after Silver came in. They wanted the game to be more faster. They wanted to speed it up more, and they thought the threes bring in a whole lot more excitement. You know, for me, as always was the dunks.
Yeah,
the dunks or the assists. Even if a person is go for a 2 and you throw a nice assist, threes was cool, but. No, that's just like that's the highlight of the NBA now, man.
I think it's easier to shoot threes in low tops versus mid tops. I feel like with the mids, I think you'll want to drive the paint a little bit more because it's more protection when you being more dynamic. You know, dunking, layupping, and stuff like that. But you know, with them low tops, you know, it's just nice and light, and you can just toss them.
I don't even think the girls shoot as much threes as the men do.
Nah, I definitely don't.
I kind of like the way especially girls college. I love the way they play. They play old school ball. They keep a big girl down low, the block and the guard the paint, and they feed her the rock and she'll lay it up. They play that old school ball.
Yeah, they real
That's what
fundamental.
I like. Very fundamental. Yeah, I like that. I kind of like that.
Yeah, man. My take, man. Jason Tatum, get well, brother. Get well.
Oh,
get
yeah,
well,
right.
get
Boston.
well.
Dang,
well.
that was a tough one.
Boston.
Yeah, it was, but at the same time, you know, at least we ain't chasing a championship. You know, it would have hurt a lot more if he blew his shot. You know what I'm saying? It was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, now who knows when he's gonna win a championship? It would have hurt a lot more if he didn't already win one.
Achilles?
Yeah, the Achilles, yeah.
It would have been nice to see y'all go back to back though.
It would have been nice for real.
Not
But
that
you
I'm
know,
a Boston fan.
But at the same time, you know, it's like Porzingis, he was hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like Jaylen Brown, and people like to say like, oh, he want to be hurt now because the season over. But my cousin actually called it. He was like, yo, I think something wrong with Jaylen, man. And I was like, you know what, you might be right. And then it came out after the season was over for them. But you know what? And I was actually pissed because I was like, man, you know, now the Knicks is gone. But you know what? My boy K, man, my business partner, he's a Knicks fan. I'm a Celtics fan. And he was like, damn, man, y'all boys got us last year. He was like, I hope y'all boys take it all the way. And we did. So I actually I done calmed down a lot since last week. So it'll be I was on one last week. Well, I was cursing a lot of people. I cursed Sexy Red out. But yeah, I definitely hope that the Knicks do a little something. I feel like they can take the Pacers. I feel like the Pacers, they do have a good team, but I feel like the Knicks are good unison right now, and they look really good, man. They look really good. Like, all BS aside, like they actually do look good. But as far as the West, which I'm not really big on West Coast ball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't too much care about West Coast ball like that. because I never rooted for anyone in the West. I always had an East Coast team. Before it was the Celtics, I was a New Jersey Nets fan. Yeah. So, yeah, man, SGA and them boys, they looking good, man. I ain't gonna lie. SGA, man, that dude is the truth. And he's been putting in the work for quite some time. So I feel like it is his time to shine. Anthony Edwards, I like him too. You know, he's definitely one of those young guys that definitely want to see do good. It's cool that SGA is playing against his cousin. The dude, was it Nick Alexander? He playing against him right now, so that's cool. But I just feel like Anthony Edwards is gonna have to step it up a little bit to like score 0 in the fourth quarter during the Western Conference Finals. That's unacceptable. Julius Randle, he was looking like that guy last night, which is no problem. You know what I'm saying? He might get a better game than you, but you have to compliment very well. You're young, you're youthful. You got to be more aggressive and more dynamic, like more explosive. Not so much threes. I definitely agree with that. The threes is killing the league this year. You know, it killed us. We set a record for the most missed threes.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dang,
yeah.
I thought it was Houston, was y'all?
No, it was us, man. Like, and I was like hollering at the TV. I'm like, man, y'all got to be kidding me, dog, because it's like, just do the math. You miss like about 23s. That's like 60 points gone versus like you could have took chance like 22 pointers would have got a clean 40. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You probably could have got that 40 or at least close to
get
it.
Foul and go
you
to
know
the
what
line,
I'm saying? Like, and that's one
man.
thing I respect about SGA too, and Brunson too. Like them boys know how to they know how to draw fouls. You know what I'm saying? So I actually would like to see OKC in the Knicks, but that'd be tough.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be a tough one. That'd be a tough one because like I just don't know if the Pacers gonna have enough gas, and I just don't know if Anthony Edwards and them gonna have enough gas.
Them boy running.
OKC is running like that big white dude. He doing his thing. Williams doing like you said, Caruso. They just really look good. They really in unison right now, and yeah man, it's if I had to pick. Right now, and I ask you the same question. If I had to pick right now out the West, I would definitely roll with OKC. Even though I like Anthony Edwards, I like his game, but you know, it's more about ball than stardom. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the East, you know, Halliburton, he's cool. I liked him in the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't really watch these teams like that when my team is playing. Like, but I watch them more like later on during the season. But I feel like Halliburton, like I think Cameron said it earlier on. It is what it is. He was like, Halliburton is an all-star. He's not a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Brunson, he's a superstar. Then he got Cat
and Townsend.
And he got that's what I'm saying. Cat. He got a nice supporting cast over there. You know what I'm saying? So and you know his dad actually is the assistant coach. Did you know that?
No.
That Brunson. Yeah, his dad is the assistant coach. So you know. Little nepotism there, but
I ain't mad at it.
I ain't mad at it neither, but I know the Garden is going crazy tonight, but yeah, if I had to pick right now, I think it's going to be probably the Knicks and OKC. Yeah.
I don't really watch the NBA, so I mean, like to me, the game is too sorry. I'm just waiting for the NFL to come back. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm just praying that
wait
the
on
NFL,
them cowgirls, huh?
College football, all that stuff. That's right. We're going to the ship. No.
But be the slave ship for Jerry Jones to pick another nigga.
Yeah.
Dang.
I like that. Yeah.
That's gonna be a clip. Clip
it.
Yeah, definitely put that Opus clip.
Man, you remember when Jerry Jones was on the sideline with Jamie Foxx? And he was like describing them dudes, and he was like, this size hand, this size waist, this size dick. Like, I was like, yo. And Jamie, he was on live. He turned the live off so quick, so fast. I said, hey, Boy, y'all celebs, boy.
Yeah.
See, it's time for the powers to change. It's time for us to get rich and be the new
sir.
celebs.
The
We ain't
power
going.
dynamic.
Yeah, because it's too much craziness going on.
I think it is shifting, but
me too. I feel
slowly.
it.
The only thing that keeps me watching the NBA is one player, and
Who's that?
his name is
LeBron James.
Anthony Edwards. Okay,
What?
Anthony
okay,
Edwards.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
I mean, listen, he's the only real like old school type player. I feel like.
they got like, the
Shout out.
charisma.
Yeah. Shout out to the guy from OKC. I can't think of his name right now.
SGA.
SGA. Shout out to SGA.
And he from Canada. He from.
Yeah, I think he's Canadian because
Canadian,
Drake had him in his
That
video.
boy,
But we don't have to
that
talk
boy.
about that. But listen, I mean, like, Anthony Edwards is just a stand-up player, old school type player.
I like AE.
Has something different about him than some of these other players. So I
young
want to
dude,
see
too.
him get to the finals. I will watch the finals, but we'll see what happens. And then on the East Coast side, I mean, like I'm going for New York.
Same.
I want to see them, prosper and actually win one because it's been forever since they won one.
Forever, man.
And
Forever.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the way that they were celebrating? Despite
Yeah.
getting to the
Yeah.
conference
You
finals?
thought it was already the finals.
You see,
with
they
them
threw the
dudes,
trash at the dude
Yeah,
that had
for
the
the
Pacers.
Dude. Yeah,
man.
but that's New
I was
Yorkers,
like,
man.
yo.
That's New York. Yeah,
That's
if
New
you've
Yorkers,
never
man.
been to New York,
That's
I
New
used to live in
Yorkers.
Jersey, so I experienced
Yeah.
New York. Like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
like New York people is different.
Your
dog.
two most brutal fans in NBA, New York and the Celtics.
Yeah.
Them boys,
Yeah.
man, they got to run to the bus. Them boys start bottles throwing stuff. I was like, damn. them
I
boys.
give it to New York a little bit more over us just because it's like New York is different, man. It's a different kind of beast in New York. Like, and that's why they say if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Well, at least
for
one
real.
thing I'll say about New York, it's coast predominantly white, but it's a little bit mixture. Everybody.
Yeah, it's a mixed culture.
Boston is all white people. It's everybody white.
I mean,
was
but,
like, God,
there's a black community in
There's
Boston.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about falls when the fans like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
When they
yeah.
coming out and they trashing shit.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
predominantly.
You making it wonder like, damn, do y'all hate the team or is it because I'm black? Which one is it?
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well, Boston get a bad rep as far as racism, man. Like,
Well?
I went to Boston, I experienced zero
You
racism.
did?
Zero.
Where'd you go?
I want to say, what was it, 2019, 2018, something like that. Like, I went one of the years that we actually was going to the finals. But,
And I mean, I don't live there. I don't live there in Boston, so I can't say. But what I do know when it comes to Boston and basketball, I mean, anybody that knows Boston knows that they're probably some of the least racist people when it comes
think
to
so?
Yeah, because
Because
think
basketball?
about Bill Russell.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
in that aspect.
I mean, wasn't he like one of the first black people
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
on a team?
Yeah.
And then they hired him as a coach.
coach,
One of the
yeah.
first ever black coaches.
Yeah.
So like the it is kind of a myth in a way to call, but
when
you
it
know.
come to
Yeah.
basketball.
it's just
When it comes to
more,
basketball,
yeah,
I'm talking about
but the
basketball. Like,
landscape,
yes.
it is kind of like a segregated community.
It is very.
You know what I'm
very,
saying?
very.
Because I've been like in the areas like I had to go to Blue Hill Avenue because that's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah.
If you've never seen it,
I seen it.
suggest
I
you
knew you
check
talking
it
about Blue
out.
Hill Avenue.
But
Yeah.
I had to go down there and it was dope, real good food. But you could tell it was more like
was very
black
segregated.
and stuff. But when I stayed downtown, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, yeah, you got to have some money to stay down here, you know.
Because from what they did polls on racist cities in America, and of course everybody thinking Mississippi, Alabama, of course Kentucky. That's what but they say in the North, the most racist city in the North was Boston.
Yeah.
Boston was the most racist city in the
I
North.
had to ask
you know what I'm
Bobby
saying?
Brown about that too when I met him. I was like, man.
Where
I was
they
like,
from?
is Boston is racist? He's from Boston.
Yeah, no, I know, but what projects? It's Canterbury or
something like that.
something like-
Roxbury, something like
Roxbury
that.
or something like that. Yeah. I
But
met them one time too in the VIP.
Yeah, my well, I don't want to put too much out there, like how I know him.
Yeah.
But
okay.
but I know him through personal
Yeah,
business
yeah.
relationships. So, but nah, he said that he told me himself is not as bad as
As it used
most
to be.
Yeah, he said it's not as bad as it used to be. It's not as bad as people think it is.
yeah.
And you know, it's racism in every state.
Every
you know,
state,
every
every
state.
state.
There's no escaping it.
There's no
You
escape.
know,
In
so-
New York, you go
Yeah.
upstate. That's straight Quaker. That's like damn trailer park trash up there.
I'm trying to tell you,
you gotta save that city shit for them boroughs. Up there, I had one of my soldiers in the army. Country boy, big old truck, dip spit and all that shit. One day I was like, I knew he was his last Paget. We go out. I said, Paget, man, where you from? He was like, take that down troop. I'm from New York. I was like,
What's New York?
Way upstate New York with the trailer park and the rural part. I thought for sure he was gonna say Kentucky or Tennessee or something. But no, he's from New York.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, them boys. There's some racist people up there. But like you said, it's racism everywhere. We in America.
It's America, baby.
It's America, man.
Yeah.
With 3 Ks.
It don't get no
with 3 Ks.
More racist
it's
than
America.
this. This is the most racist country on earth.
On earth. That's what it been found on. You know what I mean? It's woven into
built on the backs of racism.
Exactly. The very fabric of society. Yep.
Shame on you.
Tell them again.
Shame on you.
Now watch they get in the comments.
I'm telling you, shame.
America's not racist.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, be black for a day.
You know, actually, I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast this morning, and I know you're not supposed to do that in 2025, right? Listen to Joe Rogan, but he had Amanda Knox on, and if you guys remember the story about Amanda Knox, she was the person she was like a student overseas, and like they tried to charge her with like a murder, and she ended up not really doing it. Yeah, and so he had her on, and she was talking about this instance and where she like. Because of all of that, this is like years later, she was like, somebody had broken into her house again. And basically she didn't know if she wanted to call the police or not. And it was because, the police had, they basically accused her, years ago of like doing this horrific crime. And like, she was like, yeah, I had this moment where like, I didn't know if I should call the police or not. And it's like, yeah, that's what black people deal with every single day.
Exactly.
It was funny to hear it from her. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like, yeah, black people, we understand that like the police are supposed to protect us and stuff like that, right? But because, all the different things that have happened over the years, and even this year, like some of the stuff that's happened this year, like, you do have that moment where you're like, okay, should I call the police or not?
Yeah, because you'll be the person that's in need, and then they get on the scene, they treat you like a suspect.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, damn, like what you do? Third thing, I called y'all,
bro. Right. You call them, they getting your name, running a background check on you, but like I called y'all. That's what they do, man. That's what they do.
Man.
Damn,
crazy, man.
She had a black moment for a second.
For real. I was surprised that she had said that on the podcast, but it's like. Low key, I was listening to it and I was like, yeah, that's what black people
white
go through.
People know what all those Karens was out. They know what they're doing. They use the police
but
as bodyguards.
I think sometimes it takes something like that to happen to them for them to get it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like they can't think of like how I mean, I even look at myself, right? I'm not really that afraid of calling the police. Okay, but I do realize that like a lot of people are. And like, especially in the black community, like it's a thing, and I'm sympathetic to it because I understand what they mean as a person who has been profiled before and have also had stuff happen to me. I mean, I had 3 cops pull up, corner me, all this kind of stuff. Like I've talked about that on the podcast before. And so like, but I would say that I'm not that afraid to call them, me personally, but I do know people who are like, who are, even if they just get pulled over, they're like freaking out because they don't know what's going to happen.
I get the sweat.
So you do?
Be sweating under my clothes.
You know what you better do?
God damn.
Just say nothing and use this as your friend.
Yeah, I ain't dealing with the police no more. I'm thankful to still be out here free, living my life, and I pray that everything goes well with my situation. I promise you, I would not. Boy, my God,
got him shook.
Hey, I feel
you, boy.
I feel you.
Man.
All right, moving on to our last story. The WNBA just got kicked off, and speaking of the race thing, right? I guess this kind of feeds into it.
This is good. This is a good segue. I ain't gonna lie.
A lot of people have been talking about the hard foul that Caitlin Clark did to Angel Reese. A lot of people have already seen the foul, right? Angel Reese gets up like she's about to swing on her.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been saying all kinds of weird things about Angel Reese since then. Angel Reese, she kind of put out a video of her just kind of chilling. As I don't know. It's just kind of a weird situation, but we've been seeing a lot of people go back and forth on this thing, and the whole thing of race and how racist the Caitlin Clark fans are. People have been talking about that, and we've seen Ryan Clark and RG3 get into it. And I just want to play this clip. We could talk about you guys just want to talk about that foul and WNBA?
Go ahead. Play the clip.
I do want to play the clip with Ryan Clark, what he had to say about RG3.
And so now if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what Black women deal with a lot from Black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over Black women by denigrating Black women. I feel like
So that's what Ryan Clark had to say. They've been going back and forth, and a lot of people have been coming after Ryan Clark for what he had to say.
A lot of people on Twitter have been coming after him.
Yeah, but what are you guys' thoughts on this whole situation?
I actually agree with him a little bit. I mean, for the most part, I agree with him. I want to say about 98%. Like just because RG3, like it's been told that he hasn't been a good teammate, a good person, a good co-worker to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Clark is not the first person that says that. I do feel like, and Mace made a good point about this, is like when you have a preference and you deal with a certain type of person, you really can't speak on certain stuff when it comes to women. Like when you say like, I know what hate looks like and stuff like that. Like you don't know too much about Black women, dude. Like only Black woman you probably know about is your mama, and that's a different kind of relationship. So it's like you're just like, it's just the messenger. It's the wrong person trying to say certain things. Like I feel like the foul in general is not necessarily a foul that we haven't seen before. Like she didn't have no gashes or nothing like that. And mind you, she fouled Caitlin's teammate first pretty hard, and they're kind of overlooking that. Yeah. So Caitlin, like, they both don't like each other. Like, I don't think it's no hate, but they both rivals. You know what I'm saying? It's been going on since college. Yeah. So they kind of like the new Magic and Bird. You know what I'm saying? Like, and one, the Black girl, she's more of a star. She's more popping. And then you got the white girl. She's more like technical. She's more focused on her craft. She's not worried about the stardom and stuff like that. And not to mention that both of these people have fans that's white people, have fans that's Black people. And I think when you talk about women in general, you have to be very sensitive about that. Like, you can't just really say how women feel. I think more women should have been on RG3. Like how dare you speak on like a woman's emotions like that? Like you don't know nothing about how women feel. That's why I try to stay out of women's business. And this is the only time that we're allowed in women's business is during sports. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, when stuff is involved with women, we have no right to speak on what's going on with women. So this is one of them the special times where we're allowed to speak on women. And when we're speaking on a white woman and a black woman, we got to be extra sensitive because white women and black women go through two totally different things. It's two totally different Americas for them. So, but take away all of that. This was just a basketball game. Caitlin Clark, she has a lot of white fans. There's a lot of racist white people. You know what I'm saying? Like she can't control that. You know what I'm saying? Like she can't control that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Angel Reese, you know what I'm saying? Like her people are gonna ride for her too. But with these gentlemen, I just feel like RG3 was wrong for how he did it. For how he did it and what he said. Like you got your white wife behind you, like she ad-libbing, you tell him, babe, you tell him, yeah, that's right, get her ass. Like, it's like, bruh, you don't, that look, the optics of that looks bad. You know what I'm saying? Especially for a black man, you damn near like on some get out shit. Like, you look crazy. It's like she got her hand up your ass and just like, yeah, she hating. I know what hate looks like. Like, bro, you don't know what hate from no black woman look like. Black women hate when they probably see you with all them damn white women all the time and you just acting like, you know, like just like the culture just sucked up out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not a good representation of people that should be speaking on that. And when it comes to my man Ryan, you know, when you speak the truth hurts. It steps on a lot of people's toes. I could tell that Twitter got more white people than anything because they is on his ass. Like they ain't even trying to really see things the other way.
They're trying to get him fired.
You know what I'm saying? And RG3, like that's the thing. That's like a real brother, you know, like you trying to go at a man livelihood. You talking about some ESPN should be ashamed. Yeah. That take wasn't on ESPN. That was on his podcast. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just like how Stephen A., he talks a little bit looser on his podcast versus when he on ESPN. Same thing with Shannon Sharp and Ocho. You know what I'm saying? They talk looser.
That's the platform they own.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, he did it the right way. I felt like if you're going to say something like that and be objective, you did it the right way. People say that they feel like he shouldn't have brought his wife into the situation or who he was married to. That could be true, but he brought his wife into the situation. Like, you got your wife behind you. You bring in your wife, and he didn't just call you out and just say what he said. He said what he said because of the optics. Like, dude, like, how dare you speak on this girl like this with your white wife behind you like this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's speaking on what he's seeing, not just what he knows. Like, yeah, he know you enough to speak on your situation, but he spoke on what he saw. Yeah. So, and I just feel like it's a lot of people that's really not trying to hear that. But I think real people that understand, especially the people of our culture, like we definitely understand where Ryan was coming from. And I just think RG3 should just watch what he comment on. And I think men in general, I think we should leave some of these conversations to women. Like that's where my 2% comes in at. Like, we ain't got to go this hard on a women conversation. Like, leave this for the women. Let them handle this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we go hard on each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we speak highly and lowly about our athletes in our male sports. Yeah. When it comes to women's sports, we need to hear more of the women analysts. I would have loved to hear more of the women take. I would have loved to have those points highlighted versus males because we have no business getting deeply involved in this type of thing. Yeah.
That was a good take.
That was.
Thank you.
Pretty much summed up what I wanted to say.
I felt kind of passionate about that because I'm big on that, man. Like we from South Carolina, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff involving the women, like when I hear my grandma and my mama get to talking about people and stuff like that, even my old lady, she'll tell you, like, I'll be like, man, I ain't trying to talk about no girls, man. Like, for real, they ain't my way. Call your girlfriend. Like, it ain't for me. It ain't my thing.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I think if they're going to speak on it, just keep it on basketball, man.
Right,
right. I saw the foul, and like you said, if there was two men, they wouldn't
nobody be talking about it.
Or if Angel Reese didn't react to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you know you go into the line already. She intentionally fouled you. I think what it was is the fact that I don't think it was because they gave Angel and Aaliyah Boston got a technical. Then they gave Caitlyn a flagrant. I guess because all the uproar, right? Right. I mean, it was intentional foul because you were trying to stop her. I mean, it was a basketball play. I mean, you see what they lost by? You could let her go by you. They still wouldn't go win. I think also too, like you said, the rivalry between the two, right? And then on top of that, fact that when she fouled Angel Reese, you know, sometimes when people so competitive, you already mad because you losing, you know what I'm saying? And you lost, right. And then you know, then the person who you losing to, then they're going to fire you. I think with all that emotion played into it, you know, because they talked to Angel Reese afterwards, and she said, yeah, the ref made a good call. He's moving on. She just kind of let it go.
Yeah,
right?
because they're tired of this.
They're tired of it, exactly. And see, in the same way everybody getting into it, I guarantee you this. Should the NBA come back around, maybe say 3-4 years from now, because they'll still be, the WNBA, they still be in the league. Should they end up on the same team? I guarantee you. When they could throw the rock to her, and when them boys score, they could be right there, high-fiving. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, if something happened to an old girl, they're going to ride for each other because they're on the same team, right? Now, with the RG3 and Ryan Clark, I see why Ryan said what he said. My biggest thing, because I heard what Ryan said, but I didn't kind of hear what RG3 said. But I wanted to see that. But the way he did it, doing it with sass, and then you got your wife cheerleading in the background. That's almost like, I get it, that's kind of a slap in the face to this other black woman, right? If you felt some type of way, just speak on the game. Like, yo, you could have just easily been like, yeah, you know, I don't think, yeah, she fired her. Just keep it on the game. You put a little extra stank on it. You know, when you did it with a little attitude and sass, and then to add salt to injury, of course, your wife is white. You know, which I think she's pretty. I saw her, you know what I'm saying? And then she cheerleading in the background. Hey, man, that's just added salt to that wound, you know? So that's why Ryan said what he said. But yeah, if they're going to talk about it, just keep it on basketball, just that, you know? Yeah. You know, you don't got to sit there and imitate her or emulate anybody and do have a little attitude about it and whatnot, man. You know, that was sort of childish.
Because hate is a strong word, man.
Yeah.
Say that somebody hates somebody, like.
Yeah.
Who he said he hate?
He said that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
he showed multiple, things to try to back up his point.
What RG3 said
multiple clips, to try to back up his point.
I don't think Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. It's just it's basketball. It's competitive.
I mean, obviously there's two parts to this, and I do want to start with the basketball thing. I mean, listen, people want to talk about how this isn't a rivalry. This is a rivalry.
Yeah, of course.
And it's a good rivalry.
It is.
And people need to stop with saying, oh, this makes me, turned off to the game and all this other stuff. It's like, y'all would have never lasted when the NBA was coming up, okay, with Magic and Bird and some of these people. Y'all would have never lasted.
Especially with the Pistons.
When it's Jordan versus the Pistons or some of these other ones. It's like, this is how leagues are built.
Yeah.
They are built through rivalries. And we've forgotten this. We have forgotten this as fans, that it's about the rivalries. That's what makes us love, the sports. And we don't have that anymore. I mean, we got these people, they're good friends in the off season and hanging out and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's like leagues are built off of rivalries like this. And so you guys just aren't ready. Some of these people are just too soft. I love this rivalry. Keep this stuff going. The WNBA did a good thing by having, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark playing game 1 of the season. This is how you build it. This is how you build it right here.
You on to something.
You on
to something.
I look at these people and they're
preaching.
like,
preaching.
Angel Reese, and Caitlin Clark. And it's like, guys, this is what we do, okay?
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be. Look at us. We're talking about it right now.
Exactly.
Everybody's talking about it. This is how you build the league. And guess what? The next time they play, everybody named Mama's going to be right there watching it.
And they got 5 more games.
Exactly. This is how you build a league.
And before then, who was the rivalry before then? I don't think Asia Wilson had a rival.
It probably wasn't.
I don't think Skylar Diggins had a rival.
Nope.
And
Brittany Griner, none of them.
The truth is, again, this started in college.
Yeah.
Guess who took the ring away from Caitlin Clark? It was Angel Reese.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah, this is a rivalry. So can we stop it with
South
that?
Carolina.
But
South Carolina took the ring.
when I
took it all.
now getting to the Ryan Clark thing, I think Ryan Clark again. He was right. He's right about what he says. And I think it's a take that not that many people have listened to because it is a black woman's perspective, low key.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he was speaking through that, right? And so like a lot of people, especially I see a lot of these white men coming in here trying to have their little say on this. It's like, you're proving his point, brother.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're not a black woman. You're not black one, and so you don't really know about this experience. Okay, neither a white woman either. So it's like, but this is what I've heard from my sisters. I've got 6 of them, and so like I've heard this through them, for years. But and it's kind of quiet, right? That nobody overtly will say that, right? But like, there's always been that tension there. But I mean, it does happen, and so. I just feel like a lot of the fans are just feeding into this one specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, when you see RG3 get up there, I mean, Rob Parker years ago kind of had his little comment about RG3. And it actually got him fired.
Said he was corny. And
he said he a cornroll brother. He said, is you a brother or a cornroll brother? I think I have that clip somewhere. Let me see if I can play that.
And then Ryan Clark just called him corny.
Yeah.
You are corny. You corny jokes, corny.
Here's the clip.
Straight honest question. Is he or is he a cornball brother?
What does that mean?
Yeah, explain that. Well, he's not really. Okay, he's black. He kind of does the thing, but he's not really down with the cause. He's not one of us. He's kind of black. He's in the, but he's not really like the guy you really want to hang out with because he's off to something. We all know he has a white
that was
fiance.
His comment. That got him fired off of First Take years ago. Yeah. And y'all know I'm not a racist. I have white friends. One of my good friends is white. And so like
black people can't be racist. Just
we can be prejudiced, but we can't
be racist.
Well, I'm not prejudiced or racist. So but I think that I agree 100% with what Ryan Clark had to say, and it is a different perspective because again, I think it's a black woman's perspective, and he was speaking into that. Again, I don't think anybody really overtly says these things, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the sentiment, And so I think he kind of hit the nail on the head. And so that's what I think about it.
You know what America's one of America's greatest prized possessions is?
A white woman.
A white woman. A white woman. Niggas used to get killed for whistling at a white woman.
Yeah.
Whistling.
They can lie and say you looked at.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like for real, man. Like
Man,
the things, man, like America, they protect their white women, boy. They protect them, and that's the reason why Ryan Clark is getting the backlash. He's like, man, hey, you can you can do whatever you want, but you ain't finna talk about our white woman. That's what you're not gonna do. We'll put you in your place, put you in the trunk,
about
put
the
your
black
ass
woman,
on the tree. You know what I'm saying? That's how that's how the white people online.
Oh, that's how white people. Oh,
yeah, white people, because the white people is the ones that's heavy on Ryan Clark right now.
Yeah.
With Black Twitter, come to Ryan Clark defense. Black Twitter, where y'all at?
Yeah, man, we gotta come strong, man.
You know, it's funny. A partner of mine just sent me this video clip, right? Of as a TikTok clip, and it is this white girl in the car, and I open it, and she's pretty too. I don't know if she's using a filter, but she's pretty. I'll show it to y'all when we get off the air.
Okay.
And she said, yeah, so I'm chilling, and then this white dude come up on me. He was like, hey, so what's up? She said, excuse me, sir, but this here is only colored people drink from this fountain. And she started laughing. I was like, hey, you see the comments? Them boy, hey, people's in the comments. I know that's right. And she was a pretty white girl too. She said, only colored people drink from this fountain.
She must have went black and never went back, huh?
Hey, and also too, that when you make white mobs come out too, boy, man.
Yeah, man.
Are y'all against interracial relationships?
Nah, man. I got 3 nephews and a niece.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all, mixed, you know what I'm saying, from the same woman. I don't really be tripping off of stuff like that. Like, cause me, I'm engaged right now, but in my single days, I didn't see color, you know what I'm saying? Now, I always knew that I would probably end up with a black woman, or a woman of color or something, Latino or something like that. And that's kind of how it went, you know what I'm saying? Kind of got the best of both worlds. She's half black, half Dominican. So, but I don't really see the problem with that. I just hope that people understand when you do get in these interracial relationships, that you definitely know what you're getting yourself into sometimes. Because just because y'all love each other don't mean that the families is going to love each other, or the world is going to, approve. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I feel like we way past that. We
should be.
Yeah. We should be. Right. But man, it's
a new day and age.
You love who you love. You care for who you care for. Man, it is what it is. And if your family don't like it, well, screw them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do your own
keep
thing.
It pushing, man. Just don't leave the kids with the racist white grandparents.
Exactly.
30 seconds. What do you think?
I mean, I'm long as they love you and treat you right, I got a biracial nephew, one of my nephews, and then I got a cousin who's biracial. So, I don't, long as they treat you right, you know what I'm saying, and you love who you love, and you feel that, y'all two kindred spirits. I mean, I wish them a happy union. I'm not hung up on that, whoever you with, stuff like that, man. That's all good, man. As long as you're in reality.
Oh my gosh, this guy always has to take it some other place.
Then I can't bless that you.
Gotta take it too far. That's why you gotta cut him off before he goes too far.
Well, you from Cali, so you saw nothing but interracial.
Yeah, and I mean, my family I have a lot of, people in my family who are mixed. And so, and then, I mean, even one of my sisters, she's married to a Caucasian man.
How did you feel about that?
I don't care, like it's whatever for me. I mean, like it is what it is, So,
but us, our race, we are the most accepting of other.
Yeah. We accept everyone.
We accept everybody, but other races don't want to accept us.
Yeah.
I've met Indian girls that I'm not saying I was trying to get with. I'm a partner living in Atlanta, and she lived in his building, and he was trying to holler at her, but she just broke up with her boyfriend, a white dude. I guess he been cheating to her. And she told us her parents didn't like black people, but they cool with white people.
Yeah, most outside races, if you're gonna date outside your race, date a white man.
Yeah.
They don't want you bringing that
black
black
shit. They look at white as elitists. They look at that as elitists, which is all bullshit.
It really is. They some low down dirty motherfuckers too.
It's all bullshit.
Any final thoughts before we close up here?
Oh, we ain't got time for the
we can talk about Tory.
That's what you talking about?
I don't really have a take on it.
You talking about?
That's what I was talking about. I was saying if we had time for that.
Hey, educate me on this. What's going on with Tory? Because, I mean, like, I don't understand how you can be convicted for something that you didn't do, and now there's like this other evidence that seemed like it was there from the beginning,
But nobody
now
spoke on it.
it's
Why
like,
is that?
yeah, because even when it was happening, I was like, well, what is he talking about? He didn't do it, you know?
He always
And
was saying he didn't do it.
nobody, you know, looked into it, but now he's in there for 10 years, it sounds like.
Yeah,
So.
he didn't take the stand,
Okay.
which people was like, well, he had his opportunity to take the stand, but his counsel said that it would be best if he didn't.
Yeah, normally they advise
You know what I'm
not
saying?
to.
Like,
They normally, like Diddy probably won't take the stand.
Yeah,
Normally they'll
so
advise
he
you not
was
to
he was
stand.
advised to not take
Yeah.
the stand, to that it would be in his best interest.
Yeah.
So he was doing what was in his best interest, not thinking that he would get railroaded, because there was so much things that was leading to his innocence.
Yeah.
They didn't have no fingerprints on the gun, didn't have no gunpowder, and we both was in the military. We both know how guns work. You know what I'm saying? You shoot a gun once, it's gonna be something
Some
on
residue.
you.
And I'm a gun owner.
Yeah, likewise.
You know what I'm saying?
So, but
Yeah.
but it was a lot of things that was leaning towards it, and I think the things that should have raised red flags during the case is the fact that the young lady Kelsey asked for immunity. What do you need immunity for? Like, what do you need immunity for? And the fact that they subpoenaed the bodyguard that was there.
It was her bodyguard, right?
I believe so. Yeah. And he didn't come to court. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a lot of things that just didn't make it stick. Like, it really should have been. Everything was just inconclusive. It should have been ruled out from the beginning. But I think the powers that be played a lot with this one.
Okay.
And
oh, really?
And yeah, and
higher ups.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he survived that stabbing, which God bless him. Thank God that he made it through that, because he didn't deserve that, to be stabbed 14 times.
Oof.
And they said it was a Mexican dude.
Was it that many times?
Yeah, that was doing
a
life.
Mexican dude doing life. And they said he already insulted another inmate.
He already done it. And
So,
I don't know if it's charges that been pressed on him yet.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it's more than the hands of the law in this one, and it's obvious.
All right. Now, let me say this, because I know that Megan Thee Stallion has come out and has said that all this new evidence is fake, and like, how much does she have to go through? How much does she have to suffer? What do you think about that statement, her coming out and saying that? Because to me, it's like, if he didn't do it, and to see what she's doing, I mean, now this is turning into something where it's like, damn, you're like cold-blooded.
Yeah. I think she's
to want somebody behind bars who didn't do something.
Right.
So
I think she's trying to protect her image at the end of the day. I think she's trying to protect her image and probably the image of those that's who around her, like, the Rock Nation management and all of that. I don't think she's that credible, because she went on Gayle King and she said that, she lied about being in an intimate relationship with Tory, and then turn around and the video comes out with her saying that, I went on Gayle King and lied. I didn't expect you to ask me about being sexually involved with Tory. Like, what does that have to do with anything? Actually, that has a lot to do with a lot of things.
Real.
Because from what I heard is that he was sexually involved with you and Kelsey. And I guess shit just kind of hit the fan that night. Y'all be getting drunk as hell. Yeah. Like, it's already known out there that you drink a lot. Like, it's already been put out there that you drink a lot. You got a drinking problem. Your friend, she admitted that she got a drinking problem. Yeah. That she was like, she's tired of these nights where she gets so drunk that she can't remember stuff and all of that. So, and at the end of the day, I just don't feel like, she's a big girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could probably like yoke Tory ass up.
Yeah, he a small dude.
I don't see no reason for him to like shoot at her. I could see more reason for her friend to shoot at her. You know what I'm saying? And from what it sounds like, she probably just tried to shoot at her, like, just to like scare her, just to let her know, because like, Kelsey probably can't fuck with Megan, like, when it come to like size and stuff too. So it's like she probably was like, I'll shoot your big ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
The Stallion.
Yeah.
You ever seen this girl, Kelsey? You ever seen her?
Yeah, I seen her.
I've never seen her.
Yeah, she's not bad looking, you know what I'm saying? But she's not the same stature.
That's what I mean.
Megan.
Yeah, as far as size,
she's not the same stature.
Because I'll be honest, I haven't really read anything on the case, or as they say, my legal term, the discovery, when they give the discovery.
Right.
So I haven't read anything on the other than what Megan has said, because you hear Tory shot or whatever, then something like he shot at the ground, and I guess the fragments hit her, and they're saying that she did have bullet fragments in her ankles or something like that to some degree. I'm assuming. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So I haven't really know everything that went on, and then like I said, now this part here is coming out where the girl Kelsey bodyguard was saying something about that. He was protecting her.
Yeah.
He was working for her, but now he ain't working for her no more. Now he's saying that she was the one who shot the ground. I guess what
she's 5'10". I didn't realize that.
Who?
Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh yeah,
That's tall for a
yeah,
woman.
that's tall.
Yeah.
Shit, hell, 5'6" is tall for a female.
No, yeah.
My sister 5'6", and she tall, but she ain't taller than me, but she's still tall for a female.
And Tory's only 5'3". I didn't realize.
Damn, he that short?
Yeah, he's short.
Dude, I thought he was my height.
And now there's a congresswoman that she's pressing a line on it. She's saying that Megan said that she initially stepped on glass, and now that there's new body cam surfacing, and that the bullet fragments that they never made it to evidence supposedly, like. It's just too many loopholes, man, and it's something like that. It just shouldn't warrant a man to get 10 years.
Yes.
Did you hear about what she was saying? Something about he was drunk, he had the gun, she got the car, shooting at the ground, talking about dance,
Bitch, dance.
Yeah. That's what she was saying.
I don't believe that.
That sounds like something out of a. I'm not saying I don't know, but don't that sound like something
Tony
out of a
Montana.
story? Exactly. I'm not saying she wrong. I don't know everything. But,
All right.
Go ahead.
So my question is, why would they want him behind bars?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And who is they?
The industry views you as a threat. He was an independent artist.
Okay.
And from our former independent artists, like the Michael Jacksons and stuff like that of the world, when you making big moves, you get seen as a threat sometimes.
Mike is independent?
Huh?
I didn't know Mike was.
I mean, Mike, he was signed, but
Epic.
but Mike was moving as an independent because once he bought like the Beatles
Sony,
masters
and
and
he
like
was
just,
part of Sony.
just accumulating so much stuff, it gets seen as a threat after a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And Tory, he made a lot of money off of that one project by turning into an NFT when the NFTs first popped off. So he was making a lot of big moves, and I think his bravado, he's a little bit overconfident, but to me, I just feel like that's just little man syndrome. You know what I'm saying? When you short, you gotta kind of overcompensate. So you can't let people play with you. You're gonna be overly aggressive. That's just a shorter dude, but I feel like he was just super talented. He is super talented.
I didn't know he was that small.
But
like I'm so big.
But as far as they is the powers that be. I can't ultimately say who they are. Because I don't know, and I don't want they trying to look for me. But I just know that, Megan, she's represented by some powerful people. I'll tell you that.
Man. Y'all think he gonna, with all this new discovery, you think he gonna eventually...
I mean, listen, if he's an innocent man, he needs to be out. Come on.
Yeah. I'm not sure. He should either get appealed. I'm not sure they're going to reopen the case, but...
You think he going for appeal?
I would hope he get an appeal or something.
Was he was making music while he was in there, right?
Yeah, he made an album that just dropped recently.
But he did the same thing that Vibes Carcel did, do it on the cell phone?
I think kinda, yeah.
They used AI to make his album, right?
But I'm not sure how they fully made it, but it sounds pretty good. But he made it from prison though.
Yeah, they did some AI tools in order to make it.
So they had to sneak some cell phones or something up in there or something.
Yeah, but it sounds like he's not even in prison because they did it over the phone, right? And I mean, I haven't listened to the whole thing.
I haven't listened to the whole thing either, but I heard a couple of songs. I was like, damn, it shit sound pretty
good because his Vibes Carcel said he did the same thing. He said, how you made music in prison? He said, iPhone.
Yeah,
I said, wow, dang.
Yep. All right, guys. This has been the Black Summit.
Yeah, man, this is it.
Go ahead and tell them where to find you and follow you, Q.
Oh, man, y'all can follow me at QP843.
That's right.
On Instagram. These guys have a stronger TikTok following. You can follow me at QP843 is there as well. I keep my Facebook. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I talk a little shit every now and then too. So it's at Quaillo Speed. Then even though I go by Quaillo now, but I just want to keep my Twitter the same. So but yeah, that's where I'm at in this Elite Music Group LLC on YouTube.
You got anything up and coming?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I have another EP coming out probably around July. We're going to be doing a lot of work on that next month. And I'm very excited about this next one. And that's probably going to be my last project. You heard it here. This is not going to be my last project ever, but it's probably going to be my last project for a while. I just want to focus on a few different other avenues. I feel like I just don't want to let my skills that I attained from being at Trident go to waste. I don't want to let my acting go to waste. I don't want to let my editing go to waste. My videography skills, I want to put some of that stuff to use, man. I just don't want to just keep rapping for y'all, even though I love doing it. But I'm feeling like I'm ready to embark on some new things. Word.
But hold on.
Once again.
Hold on, man. Hold up, man. This man talking about something real quick. Q about to be in my new upcoming film.
Yes.
The Loser. So y'all stay tuned for that.
I'm with it. I'm in it. Yeah. You heard it here first.
Here we go. All right. Once again, I'm Brooks.
I'm Hendricks.
And I'm Q.
And we out.
Peace.
Peace.
That